Alright guys, welcome back to another how-to with P4YN Key. I get a lot of questions on Discord and a lot of requests for people to ask me to set up their Discords for them. So we're going to record episode 2 of how-to, and I'm going to create a brand new Discord server. We're going to go through the role creation, we're going to go through setting up categories, we're going to go through setting up permissions and stuff like that. The easy way, and we're just going to give you a rough idea of how to do this yourselves, and then you can put your own twist on things. So let's do this. We're going to create a brand new server. We're going to call it the how-to with P4YN Key. Not the most catchy name, but let's do that. Right, so as you can see here, I'm in a voice channel. I'm just going to disconnect from that. This list down here is your different servers that you're a part of. If you're new to Discord, you won't have any of these images here. You'll just have this icon here, and you want to click that, and that brings up your create or join a server. 9 times out of 10, you won't be joining a server via this feature. You'll be joining via a link given to you by someone else. So we're in here. It's all blank. You can see here that we've got, I'm the server owner. There's the crown. We've got no other members in here. And there's a couple of things that we're going to want to do. So first things first, I didn't cover this when I was creating the server, but you can actually select the region and where your server is. One of the first things that I would actually recommend that you do is click up here, click into server settings, and this will bring you to this page. Right? So what we want to do first is on this page here, we want to click the new member messages channel, and we want to turn that off and save changes. Right? We don't want that. We've got the moderation page. If you want to restrict people from being able to talk in your Discord or come on and be instantly able to talk, you can change this. I'm not going to mess with this. We don't need to. We're not inviting anybody to this Discord, and it will be deleted after I've finished recording this video. But this is where your security options are. Your audit log is changes that you've made as an admin. You've got your roles. And this is where everything happens. Pardon me. So here's what we're going to do with the roles, right? This is everybody who joins. Everybody automatically has this role. So we're just going to go down here. We're going to untick most of these, right? Because there's a lot of stuff that we don't want the users to be able to do. And the only two that we're going to leave is speak and use voice activity, and then just save the changes. Now you want to pardon me. Now what you want to do is create your roles. Now start off with your highest role, right? And remember that you as the owner can't be limited by permissions, like at all, right? So don't worry about that. What we're going to do is we're just going to type in owner or administrator or whatever it is that you want your title to be. This is the colour that you already have. They've got some palettes here, and you've got a colour picker. P4YN's colours is always that. That's always the red that P4YN uses. And what we'll do is, yeah, it's already saved everything as unticked, right? And then we'll create another user, and this time we'll do our moderating team, right? Now, if you're using Discord as a project thing, and you have they say for a game server, and you want your moderators for Discord and you want your moderators for in-game, I seriously do not recommend you separating their roles. It creates conflict and unnecessary bickering, right? And despite what everyone says about how mature they are, it will inevitably end up creating conflict later down the line. So I always recommend typing in the word global, and then either admin or moderators. We'll go with admins, right? They're a team, they're a workforce. That's what they need to do. Pick your color based on wherever it is that you want. I'll go with blue, light blue. And these are not administrators, right? Don't get this mixed up with anything else. You do not give global admins administrator privileges. They can see every room. They can then delete things. It's not good. We will, however, want it to display separately from online members and allow anyone to mention this role. We want our global admins to be able to view the audit log on the server files. Now, the audit log allows them to see what changes have been made, who's been banned, why they've been banned, stuff like that. We don't want them to be able to manage the server, manage roles, or manage channels. We do want them to be able to kick and ban members. And we also want to give them the ability to manage nicknames. If someone comes into your Discord with an offensive name, your admins or your moderators can then change their names and have it over and done with. If you want to allow them to manage emojis, where they can add custom emojis to the server, that's up to you. And then the rest of this, we can leave blank, right? We do not need to change anything else here, because what we're going to do is we're going to give them permissions on a room-by-room basis, right? So we'll save that. One thing I will suggest, and every Discord that I've ever set up for anybody, I always have them be the owner, and I have them create a new role, and I always have them create a role called maintenance, right? I leave it white and put it above the global admins, and there's a reason for that, right? So the role that maintenance is going to have is administrator, right? And the maintenance person, whoever you give the role to, I'm usually the only one who has it in a server when I set it up for other people or when I work on their servers. A couple of servers that I have this role on, I have it on in RayKit's Discord. I have it in Kitmans' Discord, Elizabeth Cat. And basically, it just gives me administrative privileges. I can delete, rename, create roles under my own. But more importantly, even with the administrator privilege, I cannot manipulate my own role and I cannot manipulate the owner's role. I can only manipulate roles beneath mine. I don't have that as a separate colour. I don't allow anyone to mention this role, and I don't display it separately from online members because it gives a little bit of a sense of favouritism. It's also why I don't change the colour of the role either. And yeah, so that's created. Now, you're probably going to want to create other roles and stuff like that. The only other role that I'm going to show you how to create now is the role called bots. Alright, and bots we're going to make orange. The bot has to be, each bot role has to have administrator. So what we have to do is we have to put that above global admins. Otherwise, global admins, if you give them the permission to manage roles, they'll be able to assign themselves the bot role and gain administrator privileges. We don't want that. Now, the bot should be allowed to have administrator privileges because it needs them. It should also be able to read and see voice channels, but we're going to do that on a room-by-room basis. And here's a look. Oh, what you can do is you can actually remove the administrator privilege and just give it to the actual bot itself. Which is probably a safer bet, but we'll experiment with that as we go. Right, so there we go. Now we have our roles created, and now we're going to take a look at these general channels. Let's delete that general voice chat because we don't need it, and we don't need that category either. What we are going to do is we're going to right click the text channels category here. And I'm going to add some just some equals marks, and that's literally just to separate it so that you can see that it's a category rather than anything else. We're going to edit it again, and this time we're going to go to permissions. Now, when you edit the permissions for a category, it will automatically apply those permissions to every room created in it, and then you can customize rooms as and when you need them. So we're going to allow everybody to create an instant invite. We're not going to allow them to manage anything, and we are going to allow them to read text channels and see voice channels. They're allowed to send messages, but not TTS, which is text to speech, which means that they can type in a message after typing a code, and then it speaks to everybody on the Discord. It's really quite shite. We're not going to allow them to embed, manage messages, embed, attach. We'll allow them to read message history, but we won't allow them to mention everybody, otherwise they will just spam your Discord. We can allow them to use external emojis and reactions, and we're going to allow them to connect, speak, but not mute, deafen, or move members, and we'll allow them to use voice activity, because these are all things that you can change separately. Alright, so now that we've added the role for everyone, we're going to add the role for owner, maintenance, and bots. Don't need the roles. They all have administrator privileges. So we're going to add global admins. Now, global admins should be able to do a lot of things. So they can do everything with the voice here. They can add reactions, the same as everybody else. The key difference is that we will allow them to mention everybody, but this is up to you. They can read message history. We're not going to allow them to embed or attach links. We are going to allow them to manage messages. They're not allowed to send TTS messages, and they're allowed to send messages. They can read text channels. You can allow them to do certain things that if you want them to be able to, like they can allow them to manage channels. I don't recommend it because that's what your maintenance person is for. We're not going to allow them to manage permissions, otherwise they can change permissions on roles below theirs, and they can seriously break things. And we'll keep the webhooks and stuff separate as well. That should all be handled by your maintenance person. So, now that we've done the rules here, the roles even, we've got our general chat. If you want, you can edit that. Come down to permissions. As you can see there, it's synced with a text channels category, which is great. Text channels can only have lowercase names and no spaces. So if you want to type in another word, even if I hit space bar, it puts in the minus symbol to separate them. I usually change this to a lobby, just because I like it to be slightly different from general chat. And the channel topic will appear at the top, so you can put in here main text channel. Oh, main text channel. Read rules. All right, we'll save that. And there you see there, it appears at the top here. Now, as you can see, there's no rules. So we're going to create a new channel. We'll just right click anywhere here in this blank space. And this time we're going to type in welcome. We're just going to create that and let that float to the top there. We're going to create another channel called rules. And then we're going to create a third channel called announcements. And we're going to put announcements right at the very top. We'll leave welcome there, and we're going to have to do the rule, the permissions here, which is a little bit crap because they're not bound by a category, so they don't have the category sync permissions. So we have to do each one individually. So we're just going to type in some text here, and then we're going to save. And then we're going to hit permissions. Now, we don't want people to be able to create an invite on here. We don't want them to be able to manage anything. We want them to be able to read the rules, but not send messages to the rules. We don't want them to be able to manage messages, embed links, attach files. They can read the history, and then that way if rules change, then they can see it. We don't want them to be able to add reactions or use emojis either. And that's it for the rules channel. That means that only the owner, the maintenance, can create rules, which is what you want. The welcome channel. We just type in a little message here for the channel topic. Right, and we'll save that, and then we go to the permissions. So this is going to be a channel for the bots, right? So again, we want people to be able to read the messages but not send messages, so it's going to be the same rules again. Just like that. This time, we're going to add permission for the bots, right? And the bots are going to be able to read messages and send messages and manage messages. And that's that. So as you can see there, they can only do a few things, but that's all the bots need to be able to do. And the rules. Oh, sorry, no, we've already done rules. Announcements. Alright, edit channel. Right, so we've put in a channel topic, which again will appear at the top center. Important updates for the community and live stream events. We'll save that and we'll hit permissions. Again, this is not for everybody to be able to do stuff in. We're going to manage the channels. We're going to turn all these off. We're going to allow normal people without permissions to read but not send. We're going to allow them to read the message history. But this time, we're going to allow them to add reactions. So they can react to text that's been put in there. But now we're going to add other rules. Owner and maintenance don't need permissions to be able to do stuff. But the global admins might need to put out messages on your behalf. So this time, we're going to allow them to embed links and attach files. We're going to allow them to mention everybody and read message history, use external emojis and add reactions. They can manage messages so they can delete mistakes, stuff like that. And they can read and send messages. But they can't do any of the managing stuff for the channels. Again, maintenance does not need to have permissions per channel, because they have the administrator role, which allows administrator permission, which allows them to manipulate everything, right? So now we've got our text channel and stuff. We don't actually have a bot, so I'm just gonna jump over to Google and I'm gonna type in Me6 bot, right? And I will bring this over here so you can see it. Right, and we are going to invite the bot to our new Discord. These are the other servers that I have admin privileges on. Right, and these are all the things that the bot requires. So we're going to authorize that, and there you go. The bot has just joined the channel. So let's turn this on, right? You can enable custom commands. I'll go into that later. Though, to be honest with you, with the Me6 bot, you're probably going to want to actually look at a tutorial dedicated just to that. And there's plenty of them out there. And we want the welcome messages enabled. So we want a message when the user joins the channel. And we select the channel here, which is welcome. And we want them to send a message when they leave the channel. And we'll also select that as welcome. So here's where you get to put in your little custom message. Hi user, welcome to the server. And let's just add something else to that. We hope you enjoy. Oh. your stay. Right, and then this one's the leaving one. We hope to see you again. Right, and then we're going to save the changes. And then we're going to go back. You can add the moderator feature. And these are the moderator roles. Global admins, owner, and maintenance. And then, here's the thing. Here's a login channel, right? Now, I haven't gotten to creating this channel on the Discord yet. But, we can do that now. If we come here and we create a category. Alright. There we go. We create the category. We can edit it. And this is for the everyone role. We just want to untick everything, right? Apart from message history. And there's a reason for that. We're also going to leave connect off but put speak on. So if an admin needs to speak to somebody, they can pull them into the room using the admin privileges and the person can speak. Otherwise, then they have to mess around with fixing permissions and stuff. We'll add the global admins and they can move people into this category from wherever. We're not going to allow them to mention everybody because this category is going to be for admins only. And if admins use the command add everybody on the Discord will get a notification that they won't be able to get rid of. So, yeah. I ticked that, but I'm not going to tick it. We don't want global admins to be able to delete messages in their own personal chats. Because if it boils down to a he said, she said scenario, you don't want them to be able to delete evidence. Which is unfortunate that it has to be said, but it is the truth. So, speaking of evidence, we're going to create a room called evidence. And as you can see, it's got a padlock symbol, which means the at everybody can't see it. And we'll just check the here. I put a capitalization there and I did it again. Right. So we're going to save that. And as you can see, the permissions have already synced up. And now we're going to bring the web page back. And our logging channel is going to be evidence. So now, if you enable the bad words thing, pardon me, sorry, the bad words auto moderator feature, you'll have to type in a lot of bad words, right? Which I'm not going to do on here because I don't want to. But usually you would type in words used in racism and stuff like that, sexism, and then that way it's, you know, sorted. It's all dealt with. And what will happen is you can choose the bot to delete the message and warn the author. And then, oh, wrong thing. When you're in the Discord and the bot notices that someone's typed in a word that you've blacklisted, it will delete the message and it will post a message in evidence stating that why they've done it and what was said. Which is really great, by the way. Oh, and while we're there, we can assign me6 the bots role, and their names changed, but they're not displaying separately from other members. So let's go to server settings, roles, bots. There you go. Display role members separately from online members. Something I forgot. And let's just assign me that. And that's not displaying separately either, which is rather strange. But there you go. Oh yeah, I forgot to do that. My bad. Yeah. There we go. So that's all set up now. Let's go back to this. You can there's a lot of different things here. It's all pretty straightforward. And then you've got like your actions, your commands that your moderators and stuff can type in. But here's the thing, you don't need them. A moderator can right-click a user's name and ban, so you don't need that. Temporary ban is pointless. The clear message is actually really good. Infractions is needed. Kicks, not that great. We don't need mutes. We don't need role info. We don't need server info, slow mode. We don't need unmute. We'll leave user info there. And we'll leave warn there. Because that means a global admin can use the warn feature on a member when they're breaking the rules, but the bot's not picking it up. It might be something that the bot doesn't have a setting for. And yeah, so we don't need any of this, right? Levels is optional, and it's just I do apologize. It's just when your users type, they'll learn experience and they'll level up, and then you can assign them a role automatically or stuff like that. If you want to do that, that's awesome. I'm not going to do that for this, and we don't need this page anymore. Right, so now that we've done the lobby and stuff, and it should have the permissions, there you go. You'll notice that everybody can't embed links or attach files, which is great. But there are times when people want to share their images and stuff like that. Create channel. We're going to type in OffTopic. You can name it something else. You can name it images or screenshots or something along that line, and then we're just going to create the channel. Now, the difference between this and lobby is we're going to have to right-click this channel now and edit it, jump into the permissions, and go down to here, and we're going to allow people to embed links and attach files. Save. And we're going to allow global admins to embed links and attach files as well. Right, and you'll notice that it's no longer synced. Don't worry, that's just the OffTopic isn't synced. So you might want other channels in your Discord as well. If you want like a memes channel, you can do that. Just create that. Memes, it'll sync again. Edit channel, permissions. Now, the memes, you might just want people to be able to attach files, not embed links, because, well, why would you need to embed a link? NSFW, also known as not safe for work. This is usually a room that's associated with pornography and other things along that lines. When you create the channel, you want to right click it, edit channel, and on this very page on the overview, you want to tick this box here and then save. You'll need to go down and allow people to embed links and attach files. And then you'll notice that this actually has a different mark. It has an exclamation mark instead of a padlock like the evidence room. When you click it, you should get a warning. There you go. If you choose to have an NSFW channel, and you know that you have underage members within the Discord who can literally just click continue to get past that, it's up to you to moderate them. But how are you going to know everybody's age? I don't ever recommend having an NSFW channel. I just don't. I don't think it's right. But if you want to have one, that's your choice, and you can feel free to do that. So the admin rooms, all the permissions and stuff on there are set. Oh, yeah, remember to create a voice channel. As you've noticed, voice channels can have capitalization and spaces. I don't know why text channels can't do that. So yeah, well, that's still got the padlock because everybody cannot connect to it. In fact, everybody can't even view the channel. So we want to allow them to at least view it. And that'll allow them to see it, but won't let them see what's in it. And we're going to cover that a little bit in a little while, alright? I'm very sorry, my throat is extremely dry and it's quite painful. So let's go ahead and create a new category. And we're going to call this public VCs or public voice channels. And we're going to drop admins down below that. And we're going to edit this and we're going to sort out the permissions for this one now. As always, they can't have any of the manage permissions things. They don't need to create invites to voice channels, so they don't need that. They are, however, going to be required to be able to see read text channels and see voice channels. They don't really need any text permissions because there's not going to be any text channels in here, but they are going to need to be able to connect and speak. We don't want them to be able to mute, deafen, or move each other. Otherwise, that just creates mayhem. And we'll save that. If you're a little bit OCD like me, I'd normally tick these, like cross these off. You don't have to, but I do. And then the global admins. Global admins should be able to connect, speak, mute, deafen, move, and use voice. I'm just going to untick these because it really bugs me. I do apologize. Yeah, and then untick all those, and the global admin should be able to see the voice channels. Right. So now any voice channel that you put in here will inherit those permissions. Public VC #1. And we need to change that to a voice channel. Public VC #2. Right, now if you just jump into these, you can just jump in and start talking. Anybody can get in. They're not private. And they allow you to not require push to talk on your mic. If you do want push to talk, we're going to create another thingy. And we're going to call this PPT VC 1. Right. So if you want this to be push to talk, simply right click it, edit the channel, go to the permissions, and just untick voice activity. Alright. And then when they're talking in there, they have to have a button set that they have to push to be able to speak. One of the channels that we didn't create earlier on is the EFK channel, and it's a voice channel. So we're going to create this now. And this is just when someone hasn't been active for however long you search for. We're going to edit the channel, and we'll go to permissions. We're going to remove all permissions from this. We're going to allow people to connect, not speak. And that's it. They can view channel, they can connect, they can leave whenever they want, but they cannot speak while in there. And we can add the global admins to this. We'll allow them to view the channel, we'll allow them to connect, we'll not allow them to speak, mute, deafen, but we will allow them to move members. And then that means that if someone's in there and the admin needs to speak to them, they can pull them out and try and get a conversation with them, or they can just move in there themselves. But either way, now we're going to click up here, we're going to go to server settings, and we're going to set the EFK channel to EFK. And I usually put the timeout on about 30 minutes. And then that's that. And if we check the audit log, you can actually see here, it's actually listing everything that I've done. All the permissions and stuff that I've created and all that. Final thing with the public voice channels. if you want a public voice channel to have a limit, a personnel limit, people that can go in there, right click it, edit, or create a new one, and then you can see this slider here, and you can set the amount of players that are allowed to come into this room. There you go. And it has 0 of 8 in there now. Right, so you've done your evidence, admin chat, your public VCs, all 3 types. Now, what about your personal area? All right, every other room in here has covered all the permissions and everything else that you need to do. So let's create a owners area, and we're going to create this as a category. I could tick the private thing, but I don't see the point, because I'm going to edit this so that nobody can see it. I'm going to allow people to send messages if I give them permission to see it. Nobody can manage, but I'll allow them to embed links. I'm not going to allow them to connect to voice channels, but I am going to allow them to speak if I invite them in. All right. Global admins have no business here. This is private, and for the owner, global admins should not be able to manipulate anything here. So what I'm going to allow them to do, I'm going to allow them to speak. And I'm not going to allow them to do pretty much anything else. They can't manage messages. They can send messages. They can see me in here. But that's about it. All right. So, if I create a channel here, we're going to call this private chat. And then we're going to create a private VC. All right. So, what if I want people to be able to get into this area? Because it's pretty pointless having a private chat if there's just you. You see what I'm saying? So what if we want other people to get in here? We fix this with a rule, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to server settings, go to the rules. I'm going to add a new one, and I'm going to call it guest pass. Right? I'm going to give it a color because I want to be able to see. I want to be able to see who has it in the user list, but I don't want it to display separately, and I don't want to allow anyone to mention this rule. Right? This rule has no business having any permissions other than speak and use voice activity. We need to move this up the list, and I'm going to put it. We'll put it there above global admins, so that even global admins can't manipulate the rule. Right? So we close out of that. We come to the owners area. Right click, edit channel and permissions. And now I'm going to add the guest pass. The guest pass can't do anything, but they can see the text channels and they can see the voice channels. They can send messages. They can't manage messages. They can attach and embed files. They can read the message history. They can't message everybody. They can add reactions and emojis. They can connect, speak. They can't mute or deafen. I will allow them to move members, because if they need to bring somebody else into the voice chat, they can just do that. And they can use voice activity. Now, anybody who has the guest pass will be able to see this area exists. Now, if I edit that category, just make sure that at everybody, yeah. So, if they don't have global admins, guest pass, bots, maintenance, or owner role, they won't even know that this area exists. And that's your own little private area 51, as I call it on my Discord. And that's pretty much it. You can add other roles and stuff like that, but if you follow these basic, simple role setup and permission setups, then creating another role and finding out how to make it work shouldn't be too hard. It's just the same as recreating any of the roles that you've seen here today, or any of the permissions on the rooms. So, I hope this video helps people set up their own Discords and put their own unique flair on it with room names and stuff like that, and that you get some benefit from it. So I want to end the video here. As always, guys, if you liked the video, hit the thumbs up button. If you didn't like it, hit the thumbs down button. That's what it's there for. If you'd like to get in contact with myself or anyone else from P4YN, you can do that in the description down below. There'll be links to our social media, the Discord, so if you want to come in and speak to us. We've got our neglected Facebook page, which is semi-neglected again, and our Twitter feed. So yeah, as always, I'll see you in the next video.